Hey guys, I'm Janet on occasion, and today we're playing another Total War Warhammer Battle Replay. So, as you can see, brought the Empire, and I'm against the Dwarfs. So I brought my usual, dwarf killing Empire build, which I really enjoy. So I got 3 mortars in the back, load of great swords. How many units is that? 5, and 3 units of handgunners. I got my Jade Wizard. I got my General of the Empire on his Griffin, and I've also got Stern's Revenge. Now, this is a tough one, because I've got a long way to tread, and this guy brought 2 cannons. So he's got 2 lots of cannons, he's got Longbeards and Hammerers guarding the side, he's also got Longbeards and Slayers in the back, and big front line of Dwarf Warriors, which is pretty cool. He's also got a couple of Quarrelers, he's got a Runesmith, and where's his Lord? There he is. He's brought Ungrim Iron Fist. I don't know what it is about this map, everyone brings Ungrim on this map. Oh well. Love it. So, let's speed things up. So, immediately, I get these guys, pick some targets for them. So I decide I want to go for his Quarrelers a bit, because I want to weaken them, because they're going to be able to do a fair bit of damage against my greatswords. Because, greatswords don't have shields, so they are going to take a bit of damage, and I want them nice and healthy when they're in the front line, especially because they're going to be under a lot of cannon fire. And I think I also go for the Hammerers at some point, but, they're in a big thin line, so that's a bit iffy. But, I'm happy with my greatswords just take on these Dwarf Warriors, sort of on even fight, because, yeah, these guys aren't going to hold up very well against greatswords. So I'm happy enough with that. I also send Stern's Revenge to go hide in the trees over here somewhere, because I want to get some fire into their flank. You can see, though, starting to take a fair bit of damage already. So I try and get my handgunners over here as well, so I can shoot into the sides. So, yeah, I think it'll work out rather well. You can see, though, still mobilising, because, yeah, he posted himself quite far back. So it's going to be a while before I get to him. But, oof, yeah, so he's going for my handgunners. Which is an odd pick, actually. I think the greatswords are more dangerous than the handgunners are. Well, I guess the angle they're moving, he might actually be able to hit more of them. So that's good. So I get my greatswords in a big line. And, but annoyingly, same as I've had I've had the same problem on this map before, this is all impassable terrain. So I need to split my guys up quite a lot to, shimmy around here. Luckily, though, he doesn't move forward or anything just yet to sort of cut me off. So, at the moment, a bit of a free-for-all. So I've got my Jade Wizard waiting, to do some healing. I don't bother healing the handgunners just yet. Actually, I don't think I'd bother at all. I kind of want all my Winds of Magic to keep the greatswords fighting. So, yeah, he's got my General hanging out. So he's going to wait a while. So, yeah, start to get some fire on the Hammerers. Not a whole lot just yet, but, we'll see. So, yeah, Mortify coming in. Lovely. Quite a few misses though, but it's all going to add up. So yeah, here we go. So these greatswords getting hit by Coral of Fire. You can see it does chisel away at them fairly well. So yeah, I didn't really want these guys fighting, but sometimes you just can't avoid it. But you haven't lost any models, so yeah, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. Yeah, they are armoured. They are heavily armoured. So they got, what is it, 95 armour, the greatswords. So they can resist a fair bit of damage from the Quarrelers. But, it does add up fairly quickly. So here, I've got 2 units against 3. I just sort of lumped all them in the middle somehow. That's bizarre. I'm not quite sure why they all went for the same unit, but kind of leaves him a lot of room to flank. So that was a bit of a mistake. So I decided to hit Ungrim, because I know I can just knock him over, so I can get the odd free hit with my General there. So he's a Life Bloom. Not a Life Bloom, sorry, an Earth Blood. Oh, it does trigger Life Bloom, so these guys should get some health. But yeah, here you can see he sends his Hammerers, which is bizarre. Hammerers to try and mop up some handgunners, which seems a massive waste of Hammerers. Although the cannons have managed to completely decimate that unit handgunners. So I split these guys up. He realises Hammerers are actually far more useful, and yeah, I just keep at arm's length away from these guys. So that helps me a lot. So start disrupting his Quarrelers with my General of the Empire, but he does that really annoying, super fancy animation, which means it takes ages to get him out of the fight again. You see the Quarrelers doing a lot of damage to Stern's Revenge. Stern's Revenge are helping mop up the rest of these Longbeards. And very shortly I do just charge them in, I believe, just to wrap these guys up, because I know I'm going to do fairly well in melee against them with Stern's Revenge. And there is still mortar fire landing on these guys, so that's going to help disrupt them firing, so that's good. So yeah, I still got my General running around. My guys are holding up fairly well in the front line. So yeah, these Hammerers, though, are going to do a lot of damage. Luckily, though, these guys have almost mopped up these Dwarf Warriors, so don't have to worry too much. So yeah, here you can see the Longbeards. They've decided to come back, because I can just chase them away forever. And so yeah, he decided to come back in. Luckily though, these hammers are taking an absolute beating, and now I've got my handgunners shooting them in the back, so they are absolutely livid right now. So you can see Stern's Revenge charging into those hammerers. Their runesmith though is coming to fight him, but it means that only these quarrelers are going to get the benefit of his defensive runes when he really needs that in his front line. So that's really good for me. Not good for Stern's Revenge, they're going to get absolutely destroyed. But it's good for me. So yeah, you can see he's got his cannons on my other handgunners. I moved the other guys up now that I've seen these guys retreating. But unfortunately, these great swords are starting to falter against these hammerers. So they are getting the upper hand, though they're still pretty terrified. So using Earthblood, again, try and keep these guys in the fight. So the morale is going up now that they're healthier. And yeah, those hammerers are taking a massive beating. So yeah, still got my general running around. I don't think he's popped his potion yet, but he is starting to take some damage. So Stern's Revenge still going, so I move him onto the cannons. He probably could have kept the quarrelers fighting, and that would have probably, served him a lot better. So now though, this line is starting to crumble. Dwarven leadership is fantastic though. They're down to 15 models, almost no health, and yet they're still fighting. So that's great. So yeah, uses a Rune of Wrath and Ruin, good call. And yeah, now Stern's Revenge have had enough. They're fighting Slayers, and that's never good. Slayers are very good against sort of unarmoured things like that, so they can just hack through them. So you can see though, handgunners taking a lot of damage, but they are doing some damage to these longbeards, that's good. And yet these great swords still hanging on, so that's really good. So Ungrim has come in, so I've decided to try and take out Ungrim with my general. Now he's popped his potion, so you can see he's got his potion of toughness going. And it's kind of good to do that in melee, because you do get the melee defense. So although really you bring it for the healing, healing him when he's in combat is actually much more beneficial, because that extra armor and melee defense is going to keep him, is going to save him a lot of damage as well as healing him, so that's good. So there goes Ungrim. Just couldn't handle it. Oh wow, I think he got thrown in the air then. That was awesome. Spectacular kill there, lovely. Alright, so what's next? So you can see he's still got his runesmith here, and he's got the Slayers. So that makes the runesmith kind of, yeah, less vulnerable. I would have loved to have just charged in with my general, but I couldn't with the Slayers there. So yeah, quite clever for him to send both of them. So yeah, these guys still chasing, use another Earthblood on them, so help wrap up these guys a bit, and then I'm going to send these guys in to take out these guys. So I've got Mortar Fire on all their remaining units. I'm trying to chase down some of their remaining guys with my general, keep these guys terrified if nothing else. So I'm bobbing him around, so that's good news. And now start moving up my my handgunners. And I've still got those 19 greatswords, who are absolute troopers there. They took out dwarf warriors, hammerers, and longbeards, which is absolutely amazing. So these guys rock. I love them. So yeah, see, general still bothering people, but he's nearing his healing cap. But things are almost wrapped up here. So he's still got his runesmith, but he's going to take a lot of damage against these greatswords. The greatswords are, they could take out a runesmith on their own. But he does have Slayers backing him up for now, and probably will for quite some time. And I think at this point, what, sod the Slayers, I'm going to charge in this runesmith anyway, because I'm pretty sure once that runesmith dies, then that's game. Because, look at the balance of power at the moment, it's hugely in my favour. So that's good news. So, yeah, got my handgunners coming in again. So, unfortunately though, those greatswords finally routed. They were scared off by those final dwarf warriors and the cannon crew, which is very disappointing. So yeah, cannon's still firing, doing a lot of damage. But now you can see, I've managed to break that, I managed to terrify that runesmith, and now everyone else is freaking out. So now it's just down to their Slayers. But you can see, I have so few guys left, so that was a really atrocious battle. If I didn't have my Jade Wizard healing them up, I don't know how many I would have lost. That was ridiculous. So yeah, really well played by this guy. Usually this army of mine does a lot better, but this was definitely more of a challenge. Thank God, look at the health on these guys. I've got 10 there, 10 there. Handgunners are all pretty knackered. So yeah, 20, 26. So yeah, it's pretty bad. So I decided to throw my general in, because, those two Slayers aren't really going to kill him, so it's all fine. Oh, it's now my Jade Wizard as well. He's going to finally get his hands dirty, so that's good news. So yeah, with that, that's... nope, apparently it's still going. Yeah, there we go. Still said I had 6 seconds on the clock. It's very bizarre. So yeah, I think that was a pretty tidy match. I absolutely love this build against dwarves. I think it's so fun. I just love the mortars. It feels like playing Empire Total War again, which is great. And as the Empire, it makes sense. Feels good to me. Feels good. But you can see his cannons made an absolute killing. Those Slayers mopped up so many kills. A lot of that was great swords. A lot of it was the Free Company Militia, Stern's Revenge, but still 153 kills, 1 unit slayers. He used them very well. Because I had them backed up with the Runesmith against my greatswords, and that was really well played. Hammerers, 32 kills, quite disappointing for them. But then when you look at the other kills, there wasn't a huge amount. But yeah, 49 for the Quarrelers, so that definitely did add up. I told you they'd be able to do some damage, and yeah, 49 kills is not to be sniffed at. Again, a lot of them were probably Stern's Revenge, but still, yeah, I'd say that went pretty well. Ungrim did pretty well though, didn't he? 42 kills, and that was all greatswords. So yeah, not to be sniffed at. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this one, feel free to comment, like, and subscribe. It all helps the channel out. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day, everybody.